Hey guys, Slate the Hollow Knight here, and today I'm gonna do something a little different. Ever since I played through these games for a while, so I decided why not make a tier list out of them. 2 games, 3 tier lists because I'm actually gonna do the first one here twice. But yeah, today I'm gonna be doing a Monster Hunter tier list, and if my voice sounds different and you guys can hear my computer fans, which I don't know why they're so loud right now, but best way of saying it is that I got a new headset, so I'm recording with my new mic, I guess. But anyways, let's get started on the Monster Hunter tier list. For those who don't know Monster Hunter, best way of explaining it is that you don't just hunt monsters, but you sometimes have to capture them, and the game's actually quite fun, quite challenging though. But I do recommend the game to anybody, mainly starting out with Rise, and then maybe Generations Ultimate. Like Rise of Generations Ultimate should be the first 2 games you play. But if you want to try for some harder one, if you want to try the harder one, I would say Generations Ultimate is one of the hardest games. But either way, let's get started on the tier list. So starting off with weapons, I'm gonna start off with the very first weapon I played in Monster Hunter 3, or try. Don't remember what it's called. Starting with the first weapon, Great Sword. And this is just my own opinion. I'd give Great Sword an A. But this is going to be me talking from Rise standpoints. If I'm talking from Rise, Great Sword is something I haven't tried, but I haven't got to play with. I didn't play with too often, but I'm willing to give it a chance, maybe. Long Sword. Ren, I already know you're going to give me flag for this, and I know. I personally do not like Long Sword in Rise. Maybe just because I still understand it, but I honestly do not like it in Rise. Dual Blades. Oh man. I feel like Dual Blades is an A-tier weapon. Like, Dual Blades is fun. It's something I'm willing to play. Is it something I'm willing to always play? Not really. Okay, I think this is the Lance. We don't talk about Lance. We just don't. Gun Lance. This is more of a... No, this is below Longsword. Definitely a C-tier weapon. Not the best, but it can be pretty good if you know how to play it, though. Sword and Shield. This is a weapon I have mixed feelings about, so that's going there. I don't really know how to describe it. I just have mixed feelings about this weapon. Hammer. I haven't played Hammer much, but I'm putting this with Dual Blades because I actually do like the way how Hammer functions. Okay, oh man. I don't remember what is what, so hold on 1 second, guys. Okay, as you're looking, this is Switch Axe. This is a weapon I want to learn how to play, but I just don't understand it. So, but Switch Axe sounds really cool. Charge Blade does as well. I'm putting this here though because I'm not gonna take like 3 years to try to learn a weapon that I may enjoy, but it takes so long to learn this. I don't know. Insect Glaive. In terms of Rise, this is one of my favorite weapons in Rise. Love it. Very unique playstyle too, but it's definitely, I think, the weakest of the melee weapons though. Hunting Horn. This is something I am willing to try to play in Rise. Hunting Horn actually is kind of fun. I've only played it once, but it's pretty fun. Now, I believe this is the light bowgun. Light bowgun, I don't know. I'll put that in C. Light bowgun is interesting. Same with the heavy. It's simple, but their playstyles could be a bit iffy to me. Bow. I'm gonna put bow above Hunting Horn. Bow is honestly really fun in this game. Bow is actually pretty good in general, actually. It's not a bad choice of a weapon. I'm just gonna save that for a sec. Just give me the image, please. And there we go. There's one of the Rise tier lists I made. There's one weapon tier list I made. However, I'm gonna reload the page. And oh, it saves it, okay. I'm just gonna put all this. Okay, so all these ads are not fun. Oh well. But now we're going to go into Generations Ultimate. Now, to the Generations Ultimate. Let's kind of re-roll these a bit. I'm going to re-rank these. Greatsword is an A tier weapon. Longsword, for me, is an S tier. If you play Valor with Longsword, but even Longsword in general is just super good, so yay. All these ads are going to get annoying really quickly, I can tell. But oh well. Let's see. Dual Blades. I'm gonna keep this in A just because of the factor that you need a single item to kind of bring that around. Sword and Shield. I played this once, and if I really took time to make more of this, I actually probably would play this weapon. So I'm actually gonna put that. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in S. I feel like Sword and Shield can actually be an S tier weapon, as long as you know what you're doing. But for me, for now, I'm gonna put it above Dual Blades in A. Hammer. I'm gonna leave Hammer here in A. Hammer's fun. Hammer actually looks like it's really fun. Switch Axe. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put this in S. I want to use this weapon, I just need to learn it first. This actually looks like a really fun choice of a weapon. Charge Blade can go up to A. But I'm not very fond of Charge Blade. Hunting Horn. I'm willing to play it, but it's kind of a maybe type thing. Insect Glaive. This weapon horribly fell from grace. But I still feel like it's better than some of the other weapons in the game, though, especially if you know how to use it. Now, Gunlance. I'm gonna leave Gunlance here. Actually, do I want to do that? I feel like Gunlance can be an A tier weapon in this game, actually. I've seen a lot of people use it, so I'm not going to be able to argue. Now, the light and heavy bowguns, if you're going to play them in Generations Ultimate, I personally think the heavy one's a bit better. That's just me. For me, I would say bow and longsword for me are on the same tier. Bow is actually kind of crazy if you know what you're doing. Which, with one of the styles, which you could play this or Valor, Adapt style or Valor style, the style of Adapt style makes the bow absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on Generations Ultimate, on the tier list for Wii U. So, there's that. So, we completed one tier list, yay! On to the next, which actually is the Rise Monster tier list. Oh wait, is this still showing? Yes it is, okay. So, for Rise, this can be a bit interesting, because the monsters in Rise are a bit interesting since it's more combat oriented. So let's start with a few normal monsters. Azuros is honestly a pretty mid monster altogether. And while I'm writing Azuros, I'm going to talk about Apex Azuros. Apex Azuros is a bit of a step up from normal Azuros, but really though, it's Azuros at the end of the day. It's a rather simple monster. Now, where's Lagombi? Lagombi in my eyes is a better Azuros. And Lagombi can be annoying at times, but not too hard of a monster. It's still kind of a fun fight either way. Let's see. Any other? I'm gonna kind of go over monsters I am a little familiar with first. Where's the Great? Is this the Great Azushi? I think this is the Great Azushi. The Great Azushi is honestly one of the better it's honestly one of the best starting monsters in the game, despite being one of the weakest large ones. It's actually, in my opinion, probably the best one. What we're gonna do is we're talking about Great Baggy. Great Baggy, kind of mid. Better than Azuros because it does at least pose more of a threat by trying to put you to sleep, but not much else. Great Rugi is on the same tier, except this one's a bit better than Great Baggy because of poison. Simple as that. Let's see. Let's talk about, I guess, Kuliaku. Kuliaku, honestly, to me, is boring. This fight was fun the first time, but it's honestly quite boring. Eknosum. I think that's how you say this monster's name. This monster is actually pretty good. It's a pretty decent monster. I actually do enjoy its fight, despite how much it annoyed me. Let's see. Bastion, I think is how you say this monster's name. I don't know how to say this monster's name, but for those that do know this monster, this is actually kind of a pretty silly and really fun monster. It literally fights you by throwing different types of fruit at you, whether it's poison, paralyzing fruit, or literally it trying to flash bomb you. That actually is a really cool monster. Khezu. Now, I feel like Khezu works better in this game than most others. This monster is a really big pain, though. It's a really dangerous monster, too, especially if it gets that Thunderblight on you. This monster can't see you, but it's honestly interesting. The gore of this monster, with how it gets kind of gory, is a bit disturbing, though. But yeah, that's just me with Khezu. Anjanath. I actually do not have much experience with Anjanath because I haven't played World. Now, Anjanath, do I want to place this above this? Actually, I'll place it above Apex Zero. I don't think it's quite an S tier monster. This monster is an interesting one to say the least, though. Rather fun, rather chill, kinda chill as long as you know what you're doing. Its hitboxes, though, can be annoying, though. Barioth. Now, this is probably going to be one of the bottom of C tier monsters. I mean, in Generations Ultimate, this monster I think isn't as bad, but in Rise, this monster somehow got worse. This monster gets annoying rather quickly, and it's just not fun. Barioth, however. Barioth is... This monster's pretty mid too overall, but I would say it's better than most others though. I like the gimmick of it using mud armor to its advantage though. But this monster is one of the monsters where you don't want to hit it in the face though, so pretty interesting monster. Let's see. Basarios. This monster is much better. Like, this monster, it's still a tough fight overall, but this monster is honestly it's much better now. Especially because of the fact that it's actually more hittable in this game than it was. So you don't have to, like, prioritize its stomach. But either way, this monster actually isn't as bad as it used to be in my eyes. Let's see here. I wanna wait to rate this one. Royal Ludroth. This monster honestly has... I don't know. This monster I think is just kind of bland, honestly. I mean, not too bland, but it's not too bad though. It's just a simple monster. Nothing too interesting about it, really. Pukei. I love this monster. One of the best poison monsters ever. And honestly, it's just a really fun fight with it. That's a very silly monster, and I love it for it. Samajath, I think is how you say this one's name. I don't actually know how to say its name, but this is another enjoyable fight. A bit more so than the others, but this monster is very unique, though. Especially since you're mostly going to find this thing in the water, and it uses the water very well. I like this monster. Unlike another monster who I'm not going to go over just yet. Okay, Teledon. I don't have many thoughts on this monster, honestly. This is just a really good mid monster. I just have nothing to say about it. Let's see. Tobi-Kadachi, or Tobi-Kadachi. This is one of my favorite fights in the game. I love this monster. Very unique concept, and it's actually a monster that's actually decently fast that works rather well. So I like it. Groshag. How about here? I like this monster's concept, but its hitboxes annoy the crap out of me. Really cool ice monster though. my friend Universe here would tell you how much we hate this monster. This monster can gladly sit at the bottom of F. One of the only few monsters that will. Volodon. This monster is just boring to me, so it's not like terrible, but it's boring. I'm gonna move Royal Ludwig actually down to D, because this is actually, at least it's more exciting than this one, to me anyways. Okay, but now time to talk about one of the monsters I dread the most. Yes, it is. Gyarados. This monster is... I would say it's a bit worse than Moltron. For those who don't know about the whole Cephadrome species, these monsters tend to be annoying in general. But this monster somehow ones up Plesioth in terms of annoyance. And if it does that, you know it's really bad. Okay, now it's time to talk about some... Oh, Ragnatagashi. For a spider monster, I like this. It's a really unique concept for a monster. It actually does its concept pretty well too, so it's actually a really fun fight. Despite how long it takes, this is actually a decently good monster. Bazelgeuse. Now, I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack from this from my friend Ren in Universe. I just find Bazelgeuse really, really boring. In fact, like, Ren even told me, like, try using a weapon that's more grounded. I'm like, I have to fight Bazelgeuse on the ground. Like, for the most part, Bazelgeuse is easier to fight on the ground with an insect glaive. Like, I just found Bazelgeuse super boring. Okay, Rathian. Rathian hasn't changed. Rathian didn't benefit much. It's definitely the toughest of the B tier monsters, and it's also the best. I enjoyed this monster. Okay. Ren, if you're watching this, where is it? You know how I feel about Apex Rathian, but at the same time though, I will admit this fight is actually not too. I do like Apex Rathian. However, as long as it's not doing the whole tail flip thing 24/7, this monster's fine. Otherwise, it would be here. Apex Rathian did more than enough to piss me off during the Rampage quest. Let's see. Nargacuga. Nargacuga, I think for me is the bottom of S tier. I love the fight with Nargacuga personally. It's honestly one of the best monsters in the series, and for me, this fight will always be enjoyable. A really fast monster that knows what it's doing well. In fact, I think I've seen it fight Turf Wars with either Tobitagashi or Zinogre. One of the two. Either way, I love this fight. Rathalos. Rathalos. Okay, to me, Rathalos is one of the easier monsters normally, but in Rise, Rathalos actually got a really good buff to it. This is harder than Dread Queen by a long shot. I've always found Rathalos rather difficult in this game. Either or, it's fun. Now, I do not have much experience with Apex Rathalos, however. I have fought it for a bit in one of the event quests, and I would say Rathalos but worse, and that's because it almost follows Dread King in the sense where it's more spammy than it normally is. But well, I wouldn't say it almost does, because this thing does go down a bit easier than Dread King, because even though I haven't killed it, because I think I lost to it, either that or my Switch died on me when I was fighting it. But either or, this monster is not too bad. Like, this is one I still need, like, I'm honestly still going to go unlock that on my own time and not just try the event quest for it, because quite frankly, I already have another monster I just recently fought with the event quest only before I fought its normal variant. Either way, Apex Rathalos, I guess, is kind of in the upper part of the list. Tigrex. Oh man. Tigrex is, I would say, better than... It's hard to say whether Tigrex is honestly better than Rathalos or not, because Tigrex is basically, in my eyes, Rathalos but on the ground and it doesn't have fire. This monster can be rather tough, unless you know what you're doing with Longsword, because you can just counter this thing to death. But I like this. I like this monster. I will admit though, its theme in this, its music in this game disappointed me heavily though. Rajang. I hate to do this to my boy Rajang. I hate to do this in this game. Like, I hate to do this. Like, for me, Rajang normally would be like up here. Would be at minimum an A tier. But Rajang in this game fell so much, it's not even funny. Like, I would still put it in C tier. It's still a decently fun and challenging fight, but Rajang is so easy in Rise, and I hate it for that. I just felt like this monster lost a lot of its original charm, which made it difficult in the first place. Okay, who do I want to talk about first? Mizu or... Actually, no, let's go to the main flagship monster of this game. Magnamello. No. This may seem weird because I actually like Magnamello, but Magnamello is one of the best monsters in this game. I wouldn't say it's in my highest picks, but I do enjoy the fight with Magnamello. Very, very unique and clever monster. And for those who haven't seen one of my friend Universe's clips of Magnamello fighting Kushiladora, this monster really pops off. Okay, Mizu. Mizu... And do I want to put Mizu in S tier? Okay, screw it. I can't lie to myself. Mizu is honestly another really good monster in this game. This monster... Okay, ever since the Fated 4, like, the Fated 4 have always been popular. I will admit Mizu's a bit overrated now at this point. But though, this is a really great monster though. Either or, really good monster. Apex Mizu is in my eyes, is on the exact same tier other than the fact that this monster is actually kind of scary to fight with what it does. Oh man. Sorry guys about my mic. Which, knowing my mic, it probably picked that up. But either way, Apex Mizu is, I would say it's on the same tier as normal Mizu. This one's just more scary to fight. Let's see. Zinogre. Zinogre and Apex Zinogre are on the same tier as well. Like, all four of these monsters are on the same tier in my eyes because Zinogre really got what he needed originally, and that was a speed run. However, I will admit he is a little too fast on occasion because there's like no avoiding sometimes you just can't avoid some of his attacks. Zinogre though is actually a really fun monster either way though. I enjoy Zinogre. Diablos. I would never rate Diablos this high ever in most other scenarios. But it's actually ridiculous. I love Diablos in this game. It's actually much easier and at least more fitting with the... Well, not much easier. It's still a pretty hard monster, but at least it's not bullshit with its hitboxes anymore. And also, Apex Diablos. This is another Apex I do not have much experience with. This is the only other Apex I don't have much experience with. However, I have fought it. It's the bottom of S, but it's a pretty interesting fight, and I see why my friend Ren says it's easier than normal Diablos. And at the same time, I don't. Okay, let's talk Elder Dragons now. Starting off with the trio from, I believe, Monster Hunter 2, we first got Chameleos. Chameleos is actually really fun in this game. I will admit, like, he did get nerfed to hell by not being able to steal your items anymore, but they at least made him faster and he does a lot more. Chameleos is cool. Kushiladora. Speaking of Elder Dragons I heavily like, I love Kushiladora. Like, I adore Kushiladora, actually. In fact, screw that. Kushiladora deserves to be up here. I love this monster in this game. He's not as painful as he normally would be. That wind barrier is kind of there, but it's not really so noticeable to the point where it's annoying to hell anymore. I'm gonna be brief. I do not like Teostra. Teostra, it's not even that Teostra is hard. Teostra is a decently challenging monster. Teostra is super boring to me, and it's annoying as hell. This monster annoys me to death. Like, sure, I will admit I suck at fighting Teostra, but this monster annoys the hell out of me no matter what circumstances I'm fighting it in. Whether I'm fighting it with people, whether I'm fighting it solo. I used to like this monster, but no. This monster, no. I do not like this Elder Dragon. And actually, I will give Teostra a bit of slag. He's not as bad as Gyarados or Moldron, but he still annoys me to death. Okay, now let's talk about the elders of this game. Ibushi. Word Super Ibushi. Now, I'm actually going to kind of rate both Ibushi and Narwa, Thunder Serpent Narwa, at the same time here. On the same tier, I will admit Narwa is a little bit harder, at least, because I think she's got more health. But for the most part, both these monsters, like, at least when I did the event quest for Ibushi, because Ibushi doesn't normally have a normal fight with it otherwise. So I did both event quests to kind of get a better reading on both of them. Both of these monsters are actually pretty cool. Pretty sick, really intense though. These monsters are pretty difficult if you're not careful, no matter what you got going. Alright, Narwa the All-Mother. No. Okay. Many people might wonder, why is All-Mother Narwa below Kushaladora? And that's just because I just enjoy Kushaladaura's fight a bit more. All-Mother Narwa is not so bad. She's actually... I can see why my friends were telling me to be very careful when fighting her, because she hits hard as hell. But honestly, she's honestly one of the cool... She is definitely one of the coolest concepts of the monsters. It almost makes me wonder if we'd ever get like a form like this for Ibushi, but because of Sunbreak, I doubt that. But it would be cool though. And then, our boy Crimson Glow. Oh man. You know what? Yeah. Crimson Glow Valstrax, I'll put you here actually. Let me switch Toby and Nargi a bit. Crimson Glow Valstrax is honestly just a revamp of one of my favorite monsters. And this is actually the one where I actually did the event one before the normal one, which my friend said that was suicide to do that solo, but I proved him wrong. But after a few tries, I did anyways. But this fight, oh, it's so good. It literally, it gives Valstrax, it actually literally kind of really defines the more subspecies than deviant form of Valstrax, which is really cool. Very unique battle style. Pretty annoying with one of its attacks, but otherwise, I like this monster. Very unique concept, very fun. Overall, though, that's my Rise tier. That's my Rise monster tier list. Okay, now we're gonna move on to easily the longest one, Generations Ultimate. Man, oh man, this is gonna be kind of fun to do. In fact, so here's what I'm gonna do. Make that orange. Actually, hold on, I'll be right back, guys. Let me set this tier list up a bit. Okay, I'm back. Okay, that took a second, but okay, let's get started with the monsters of GU. Generations Ultimate, Azuros mid. That's as simple as it gets. No, deviant monsters, however, are a bit of another story. Red Helm is actually the easiest of the deviants, but it's actually a pretty fun fight, actually. Pretty much it's slower Apex. Now let's see, we have Lagombi, if I can, I think this is normal Lagombi. I think this is, let me see if I can see where its deviant form is. I am super blind with all these icons right next to each other. That's not Snow Baron. Whatever, we'll come across Snow Baron later. Lagombi, a bit above Azuros. Where is Snow Baron though? Let's see, I can't miss it because it has the giant ears. Is it not here? Why am I seeing the deviants for every... Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh yeah, Snow Baron. Pretty much same boat as Red Helm. This fight is not as fun, though, in my eyes. Okay. Great Mako. I can't believe I'm putting it there. I love the Great Mako, honestly. It's one of the best beginner monsters you're going to fight. Boldrome. Boldrome Bofenko. This thing is like one of the worst monsters to ever exist. One of the worst boss ones at that, too. One of the worst large monsters. Like, that's not a good monster. Volodon. Honestly, this monster... no. Congalanga. That can also stay down here, too. I'm just gonna put that there now, because I just happened to see it. No. Gigadrum. The Gigadrum, the Ludum-drum, I think is how you say this one. Velocidrum. And where's the Gigadrum at? Because that's also going in C. There it is, Gigadrum. Honestly, can be here. This one's the worst of them. I like the Gigadrum a bit more than the others. That's just how that's gonna go. I don't remember how to say this monster's name. Now, for those who don't know Abbott to me with Ren when we did this monster killed me and then left the area. But honestly, this fight is stupid, honestly. I hate the fight with this thing. I hate the hyper variant of it even more. So let's talk about... well, let's talk about the Centaurs, I guess. Dynamo Centaur. This monster is not as bad as it used to be. Dynamo Centaur is actually not too bad at all, actually. Stonefist Scimitar, wherever it is, because it's probably blending in quite well. Okay, here it is, Stonefist Scimitar. Or Himitar. Scimitar. This thing is honestly one of the better deviant. This thing's actually a really tough deviant monster. It's actually pretty fun because of that. Shogun here. Shogun is honestly a really difficult fight. It's actually a pretty hard fight, but once you get it, it's not so bad. It's still pretty fun. Rust Razor. This is the first deviant I'm putting up in S tier because this is actually a very unique, clever fight. Whether it has it, depending on what type of shell it's got going. Now, remember how I said I found Rathalos one of the easiest monsters? This is this game where I was saying about that. Still a really good monster overall. It's easy though. Like, I don't know why Rathalos is so easy in this game. Dreadking. This is what we like to call Spam Lord. So that can kindly go there. And I think this is Silver Rathalos right here. I fought Silver Rathalos, I think once or so. I guess it's a decent monster. I don't have much input on it though, because it's a weird subspecies. Same goes for Gold Rathian, but as we talk about normal Rathian, Rathian gets annoying rather quickly because of poison. Gold Rathian gets annoying because of giant fire, because of fireballs everywhere. And where's Dread Queen? Because I will say it now, Apex Rathian's got nothing on Dread Queen when it comes to annoyance factor. Poison everywhere throughout this fight. Like almost everything. Unlike Apex Rathian I know, almost everything Dread Queen does will poison you. Basarios. Basarios in this game is a nightmare. I grew to figure out easy ways to fight it now, so I'm not too concerned about fighting it now, but it's a pain. Ravios can be treated in the same boat. Okay, this thing. I'm gonna put it at least in D because it's not as bad as like Philodon and whatnot. This monster annoys me. Its scream can blow you up if you're not careful when its scream. A certain type of hissing it will do can blow you up if you're not careful. That thing gets annoying. And it's not even the scales that do. I don't understand how it does it, but it does. Do I want to talk about this one? Actually, yeah. Yankuku. Of one of the weaker large monsters, this is honestly one of the, I think it's probably the strongest one. Like out of all the weak large monsters, this is probably the strongest one. It's a pretty decent, it's a decent monster. Yangaruga. I love and hate this monster. To explain where the hate comes from, it screams 24/7. It does it so often. Deadeye, as it mentioned, it's a fight of wits. Be careful though, because like Tigrex, its roar can hurt you when it's standing if you're not careful. Speaking of Tigrex in this game, its theme goes so good, but it's so easy, sadly. Grimclaw, I only fought one time. Just to see what it's like. Grimclaw, its claws can explode the ground, but otherwise it's still Tigrex at the end of the day. It's not too much different. Where's Nimblescarf at? No. This monster I grew to really dislike rather quickly. It's at the top of F because it's not the worst of these, but it's Cephadrum is annoying. Be careful of its hip checks. Actually, it's not so bad because at least you can get it out of the ground. But because this thing flops like a damn fish, when it's knocked over for melee people, it's annoying. Then, where are its two cousins at? Is he Lava Sloth, but where's Plesioth at? You. Now, I figured out an easy way to fight Plesioth. Its hyper variant, ironically, is slower, but like, Plesioth is just patience with it and just being aware of its hitboxes. Sorry if you guys heard me yawning. Holy hell. Lava Sloth. I actually grew to like Lava Sloth. Rather, I grew very fond of this monster. This monster isn't as bad as its two cousins, but though I understand where Rand's dislike comes from. I didn't say Sephiroth, I think so I say it. Fuck this thing's Flash Bomb, and this thing doesn't give enough dash abstract. Where Ludreth is in the same boat, but I actually find Ludreth to be a bit interesting in this game. But though, still only a C tier. Alright, I would put the set list in F because this monster is it's so easy. It's like if you lose to this thing, you might as well, I think you want to cry in the corner. But because of the Setlist Queen, I at least have to give this monster a bit more credit. Now, the Setlist Queen and the Setlist Queen altogether are both annoying. The Setlist likes to drag on balance for a while if you're just battling it by itself usually. The Setlist Queen is annoying, especially if you need to get its tail, like it seems like it doesn't come off. So that gets annoying rather quickly. But then these two monsters literally tag, which is honestly kind of funny the way they do it. Ceregios. This can go here. I'm not fond of Ceregios. This monster annoys me. Its blades, mainly on the dunes is where this monster is the worst. But I think outside of that, this monster actually is very creative and rather cool. Oh, they're both right next to each other. That makes things easy. Nargacuga, still one of the best monsters. Still from Nargacuga. Is Nargacuga but better. Let's see. Now this thing. This monkey is that. I don't know, I think the Kushawaka or something like that. Kushawaka or something. I don't know how to say it. This monster's strange. It's funny though, which is why it goes up that high. Kirin. For an Elder Dragon, too easy. This thing is annoying as hell when it's like Kaizu in this game is just easy. Nothing to really get annoyed about like that, really. It doesn't really give you much time to get annoyed with it. I don't remember how to say this monster's name, but I do know it. This monster is kind of boring. At least Drill Tusk, at least we'll try to suplex rocks in the game. This is the first deviant, I think, to actually be below the A tier, because this one's just not that interesting, honestly. Actually, screw it. This can go in A tier too, but it's at the bottom. I think all the deviants are kind of A tier worthy except for maybe this one, but we'll talk about that one when I get to it. Let's see. What monster should I go over next? Let's go over Brachydios. Brachydios is great. That's all there. It's a great fight. I wish Regibrachydios was. I wish they gave the shot for this to be like how it was in World, but because it's loading zones, it doesn't get as much of a chance to shine. But I feel like in the one area where it's fought, though, it still works. Narcilia. I want to wait a bit of time before I went over Narcilia. I like Narcilia. Not as much as Kadashi, but it's still a great fight. Zinogre fell from grace because it's too damn slow in this game. It is too slow. Though, if you're not careful, that thing will paralyze you and you'll get stuck in a whole bunch. I actually think Thunderlord Zinogres are really good deviant, honestly. It's not too bad. It's not too bad, not too hard, but also can get pretty annoying. This is Baroth. Baroth is a pretty good monster in this game. Barioth, which is right here. In GU, this monster, like, once you clear out a fight at one time, it's not so bad. Otherwise, pretty much I have no change to picking about. I want to go over one of my favorite monsters now, or should I wait? Let's wait. Durambros. Or I don't know. This monster is just kind of boring to me. It's huge, but that's all it's got going for it. Zemazertos. This monster is awesome. I'm not gonna go into much detail. It's just really good. It sucks that it's only fought a few areas, but that's it. Agnigator. Fuck this thing. That's all I have to say. You should not like this monster, honestly. Well, if you do, I don't blame you, but still, this monster is a piece of shit. Now, the Gaiacrus. This monster is actually really good for a standard monster. It's really tough, though. It's one of the tougher normal monsters out there. Now, let's go to, I guess, Malphastia. I like this owl monster. A lot of people don't like it, but I understand why, because confusion and being put to sleep is annoying as hell. Nightcloak, which I already lost it, even though it stands out more so there it is. Nightcloak is visually appealing as all hell. I like this thing. It's a really challenging one, too. Be able to disappear and then just come out of nowhere. Deadeye Young Garuga, I will say, it's just more like Nargacuga in this scenario, where it's just enraged throughout almost the entire fight. It's probably the most aggressive of the enemies. I feel like I didn't go good enough. Stonefish's giant claw will block stuff. Restorator has a chance of sharpening its claws. Dread King is spam. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. Snow Baron has giant snowballs, and then Red Helm's just a more aggressive zero, some bigger one. Actually, no, we're not going to talk about Diabolizing. Let's talk about Rajon for a sec. Rajon has officially regained its crown where it deserves to be. Rajon is actually a challenging fight in this game, and it's actually a pretty fun one at that. Furious Rajon, this thing is scary. I'll just put it like that. It's scary. But yeah, Rajon is probably where it deserves to be. It's interesting and a challenging fight. So, hold up one sec, guys. Okay, I'm back, so we're just walking through the I told you to be quiet. But either way, okay, Devilio. This monster became so much easier, but it's still a threat, though. This monster's still a really big threat. This is as good as Rajon. Savage Devilio is disgusting. This thing, almost everything this thing does will pin your ass if you're not careful. And getting pinned by Devilio is asking for death if you're not able to get out of it quick enough, and if you don't have someone to heal you, you're pretty much just fucked. You know what, Teostra's here. I'm putting Teostra back where it belongs. I don't like you, Teostra. Okay, Arrogant. This monster is honestly one of the worst ones. It's tough literally everywhere but its stomach. Bristlebeard makes it worse because of the factor it just has a super tough chin. Like, it's like, no, it's like, why make a deviant where its fight is like, where it just takes forever because you can't hurt the damn thing. Sorry, but that's just my input. La Shalom. Because this monster is literally just a siege, but like a literal siege type thing, or tower defense type thing, this Elder Dragon honestly is not that impressive, even though it's one of the largest ones. It's better than Kieran, I'll give it that. Okay, now let's talk about one of my favorite monsters, but probably my favorite monster in Monster Hunter, Gormon. This monster is awesome. Like, there's nothing bad I can say about it. It's an intense monster that can really change its modes really quickly. Frenzy Virus is something that's really cool to fight. I do not have too much experience with Chaotic Gormagla. However, I will say I have fought it a bit and I've seen some gameplay. I actually like this monster. I like to fight with it. And while we're talking about the Maglas, and even though this isn't considered an Elder Dragon, I will consider these two Elder Dragons. Shigumagla is pretty much Gormagla, but slightly better. But though, I do like Gore a bit more, though. I feel like Chaotic Gormagla is like worse than Chigu, but I don't know. But these two monsters are really iffy for me. Okay, so that's just the Fated 4, isn't it? Okay, let's talk about the Fated 4. Fated 4, starting off with my personal favorite of the 4. Astalos is honestly my personal favorite. I love the fight with Astalos. Really, really cool electric monster that knows what it's doing well. And it's honestly harder than Rathalos, even though my friend Ren says it's easier because it stays more grounded, and I understand that. However, Astalos is one that doesn't give you many breaks in between it, which is why I enjoy this fight. Bolt Reaver is ridiculous. Like, come on, having a monster that sounds a light blade from its head is awesome. And it has a pull, and that's an attack that literally pulls you into it, where it can do 1 of 3 attacks afterwards. So you have 1 of 3 different attacks, whether it's coming down to electrify you, or using the light blade, or using the lightsaber on its head, which moves a lot quicker. Either way, it's still really cool. I will still say it, Mizu is overrated, but I still love the fight with it. Soul Seer is amazing. I literally called it sad, and my friend Ren agreed with it. This monster is tough though. Even especially in the capture mission, because it's like, you have to hope to God it goes into the trap before it leaves, because more times than not, it's not going to go into it, because it just seems to know. Its bubbles, if they hit you, it will enrage, and then the fight restarts with the flaming bubbles and craziness of it. Soul Seer's awesome, though. Gammoth. Gammoth, honestly, is the weakest is my eyes, like, the one who definitely gets slept on the most of the Fated 4. But Gammoth is still a really good monster. Elder Frost, the difficulty of its fight tends to start from the first bit of its battle. Tends to come from the first bit of its battle. Otherwise, it's not so bad, and my cat is throwing a fit, so I gotta finish this up. Glavenus. I mean, come on, a monster with a sword for a tail? Who wouldn't love that? Hellblade pretty much is like that, but add explosives. Actually, remember Soul Seer here. But either way, it's fun. Hold up 1 second, my cat's throwing a fit. Oh man, okay, I'm almost done. I gotta do this before the cat gets back. Diablos. Fuck this thing's hitboxes in this game. They are so bad, but this is at least still a kind of a decent monster, a little bit below mid. Bloodbath Diablos. I see why people love the fight with this thing so much. It's so good. Rather intense, but really unique fight. Camellias. Super hard because it steals your items. Now, I'm not gonna really go over what Bloodbath Diablos does, but I will say to fight it, you need to at least beat all the Jeering Deviants on their first quest, or at least capture all of them. Eucleos. This Elder Dragon's rather huge, and I don't really see too much interest in it. And Cantor's another one I see the same way. I don't have as much experience with Eucantor, because at least I slayed Eucleos. but Icantor is a bit weird. It's just a monster I have a weird feeling about. Kushaladora. I would much rather fight Camillus over Kushaladora. Its wind barrier is the most annoying thing ever in this game. Okay, other large Elder Dragons. The Carcos has an amazing twist to it. This is an S-tier Elder Dragon right here. That is really cool. Amatsu. Now, I'll be brief. This is easily, I think this is my, if this is not my favorite, it's my second favorite Elder Dragon, even though I really consider Gormagala an Elder Dragon, considering it's a juvenile form of Shogumagala. But, yeah. I love Amatsu. Amatsu is one of the most unique fights that changed its face. Valstrax. I would say it's on the same tier as Amatsu, not as challenging, but Valstrax, all I have to say, that's pretty much what I said about Crimson Glow, other than the fact it's just not as crazy. Now then, these mobs, I'm not going to go over this one yet. I will go over, okay, I will say this one, I hate the pronunciation of Latreon, so I'm calling it Ultreon. This is an amazing Elder Dragon. Like, intense, really difficult, crazy, that's all there is to it. Osaka. For a final boss, it knows what it's doing. It did what it did as a final boss perfectly as ending up the older generation games. It's beautiful. Fatalis. Fatalis for me gets the, I would say, I guess, here. Actually, no, I'll be real. Fatalis is a fight I have mixed feelings about. I'm putting at the bottom of S. Well, I wouldn't say the bottom because Crimson Fatalis, honestly, is, in my eyes, the worst of them. It's pretty much Enraged Fatalis. Like, Crimson Fatalis is interesting. However, White/Old Fatalis is actually pretty good. Like, would I say it's as good as these guys? As, like, the Carcos and Altica? Not really. But quite frankly, I like Old Fatalis, or White Fatalis. I think that's why I probably can't do Old Fatalis, but that's a really crazy fight. As you can see, that is my Monster Hunter tier list done. So, yeah, I know I spent 50 minutes looking for a tier list, but it felt like it was kind of worth it. Either or, you guys should expect another recording from me soon. Maybe later today, if not tomorrow. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this different video about me going over one of my favorite games. But yeah, this is like the Hollow Knight signing out. Later, guys. Oh, and let me know how I sound through my mic, please and thank you. Alright, bye.